Welcome to the Dalen Show. What's going on, people? Y'all doing all right, living life, staying strong, staying wise. Hope all is well. Appreciate you guys tuning in for another episode. We're back at it again. Episode number 2, season 3. All blessings, all glory to God. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Would everyone please welcome my guest, my profound honor to welcome Miss Tiya Douglas. Yes, sir. Appreciate you, T, for coming on the show. First off, how you doing? How's life treating you? What's going on with you right now? I know you got a lot going on.
Well, I'm good right now. I just been working out, trying to get ready for my next school. Try to get my mental right, everything. Yeah.
You dropped some exciting news not too long ago. Let the people know, what was the decision going into that? If people don't know, you were at Ole Miss and now you transferred to Austin, PA. What was it the deciding factor for that, and why was Austin the choice of your decision?
Um, so I decided that because I just felt like it was time for me to move on from Ole Miss. I loved it. I really did. Great coaching staff, everyone supportive, everything. I loved it. I just felt like if for what I wanted to do, I think it was just time for me to move on.
Yeah.
And why I chose Austin Peay was because I love what she's trying to do for this program. And she's new, so she's heading into year 2. And she did really well that first year. And I love her vision, and I love what she's trying to do for the program. And I love how I fit into that. And yeah, that's really what brought me to it.
See, for the listeners that may not know a lot about you, give them a brief overview of who you are, where you're from, and what you've been able to do to help you get where you are today.
Okay. I am from Fort Smith, Arkansas. Um, uh, I'm about to be a senior in college. How I got to this point was it was a lot of grinding in the driveway, really. That's how I kind of started basketball and how I got to it. Me and my dad used to be in our driveway. He had a hoop for me, and we would just do stuff like that. Then I got into it with my mother, and I moved in with my mom. And then that's when we started going to the gym every day. And that's really how I started the whole journey of coming.
You've got a very interesting story. I want to start off from your hometown, Fort Smith, Arkansas. As an Arkansas native myself, it's always it's very fun to talk to people from the state. I always love to see how people have grown and made it out of the state to explore and be brighter for themselves. You talk about growing up playing basketball with your father. What age did you start really picking up a basketball, and what was the love for? Like, how did you initially fall in love with the game, and what was so special that made you fall in love with it?
So originally I honestly didn't want to play basketball. I was more into like cheerleading, anything
Yeah.
else outside of basketball. So I really started when I was like in 3rd grade, 3rd or 4th grade. What kind of got me to it, it just kind of clicked in my head. I was like, oh my gosh, like one day I seriously was just like, I want to play basketball. And I remember my dad was taking me to shoot at this park, and he was just watching me. He was like, you can really, like, this kid can really like shoot the ball.
Yeah.
So that's what really kind of just made me want to get into it. And how I started to love, when I first realized I loved the game, is honestly the grind of it all. It was just me having to get up every morning and do drills and everything. That's when I first fell in love with it, honestly. The grind, the process of everything.
As a collegiate athlete, how has that mindset helped you to better yourself, not only as a player but as a person outside of basketball as well?
Having that mindset is just, it helped me in so many ways because it taught me to not like try to rush things. Like, don't try to always get the end result first. Like, cause that's not how life or how sports works. You have to work up to everything. And it just kind of helped me slow down in the real world too, not wanting to expect everything like as a result first. Just really actually taking the time to process it and learn and, focus.
Was there, from even your younger age, even to now, was there any players that you kind of particularly focus a lot on their game to maybe even you just love their game or you just kind of looked at their game to help improve your game a little bit?
Me and my dad actually watched a lot of Kobe and LeBron when I was younger. So rest in peace to Kobe. So really my dad would send me a lot of videos like coming up on base and show me a lot of videos of like how he played and how they played and like how this is how you should have your game, like the work ethic that he put in to get to where he was. And that's really what kind of like made it like, oh shoot, like you gotta grind. Like watching how he put in the work that he did really inspired me, honestly.
Growing up, you've already talked about your family very significantly. Talk about what kind of impact they had on your young age to help you stay maintained and stay level headed, and also talk about the impact they've had on you right now that allowed you to have the moral support to make moves like you're making right now and also stay on top of your course.
Um, the impact that they had like coming up, it was really important like to see the success of like my mom and dad. Like my mom's a basketball coach already. She coaches at Baylor. So like having that person like really helped me to get to where I'm at right now. And like her telling me how it is, like how basically the system works.
Yeah.
Basketball and stuff. And that really prepared me, honestly, for college, for high school, anything. Like the amount of work that you have to put in order to get to where you want to be. And I feel like that in the sense of my dad telling me that too, differently, in a different way though, of course. It helped a lot once I got to this level and making my decision and having them just consistently remind me of making this decision for me and like don't let anybody influence like that decision for you. Just being able to really just put that into perspective.
How do you use that kind of advice and that kind of leadership from your family on the court and within your teammates?
Um, I would say I stay very positive with my teammates, like no matter the situation that I'm in, whether I play, whether I don't play, like I make sure that I still make sure they're good and have an encouraging word. I don't want my teammates to be down. Like it ain't about at this point, like it's not about me. It's about them and making sure they're good. So I want to be that person that basically lifts them up, even when they feel like stuff might not be going their way. Like I want to be that teammate for them.
It's a W teammate, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we call a W teammate. Good job, T. Growing up or even now, what were things outside of the game of basketball that you considered hobbies or kept your attention or even kept your mind focused out to keep you focused on basketball?
Um, Honestly, I don't know. What did I do? uh, I would say I did a lot of like dancing and stuff like that. Like I ain't really, and mind you, I'm not that good of a dancer, but I just
Yeah.
I just did stuff to like keep me excited and stuff. Like stuff like that excited me. Like I love doing fun things. So I feel like stuff like that, like dancing and I don't know, going outside, doing stuff like that, it just like really helped.
One of my passions is music, and I've gotten to know and learn a lot about music. And within my interviews, I try to ask people like, what do you listen to? Like what are your artists? What are your top songs? And is your like regular music different from your pregame music? Like, how does that work for you?
Hmm. Okay, so I listen to like a lot of Future and Drake
Okay,
and Lil
that's
Baby.
valid.
Yeah, and Lil Baby, and I like J. Cole too. So I guess like a lot of my like regular playlist is kind of the same as my pregame because like I don't know, I just like stuff that turns me up like on the daily. Like I don't like being mopey and sad or
Yeah.
not my energy. Like I'm pretty bubbly. So like I like stuff that gets me like ready for the day. So that kind of comes together.
From those artists, is there a particular favorite song, or you just kind of have a collection of those are your top artists?
Kind of like a collection of those being my top artists. Yeah.
That's different because no disrespect to any female, but like most females I ask, you're like, Meg, Janae, her, and it's cool to me to kind of see the people branch out. I listen to female artists. I feel like a lot of dudes don't, but my music taste is so broad. It's like I like to see other people listen to a lot of different things. So that's dope. When you get up into high school, you have a lot going on. You move to a couple of different schools. And this is when entrants from other schools in college, I mean, start looking at you. When you get to playing, what was your first offer, and when did you notice school started actually looking at you and looking at your game?
Okay. In high school, I think it was I want to say junior year, I got my first offer from UT Arlington.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking to them a lot throughout high school, but like they never officially offered me until like after that season of what I did that junior year. That right there kind of like was like, oh wow, like I actually have like people that want me.
Yeah.
And it was kind of an unfortunate situation because that next year I ended up tearing my ACL. So with that, I kind of lost the offers that I had. So I had to take the JUCO route. And that there alone created so much more for me. And that's how I got Ole Miss and everything. And that's why that was such a blessing for me.
How do you deal with an injury like that? And what did you learn about yourself when you were away from basketball for so long that helped you stay motivated, help you stay poised throughout that process?
Um, it's hard to handle an injury like that. Like I feel like you definitely, well, me personally, I went through like a time where I was so sad. I was kind of depressed because it's just like I'm going so long without playing the sport that I love. And it sucked seeing other people like being able to play it. Of course, I was happy for them, but it just was like a sad time for me. And I feel like with that, I was just like, you have to take your time. Like, you can't rush the process. Like, it goes back to what I was saying before. Like, you cannot rush a process like that. You just got to continually stay the course with God and continually ask Him for Him and His help and His grace and mercy and everything. And I really took that in accountability when I was going through that process.
You talk about that allowing God to kind of handle things, and you also said earlier that tearing your ACL would put you in a bite, but it also allowed open doors for other opportunities. How grateful, and not only grateful, but how optimistic have you been to be able to attend a JUCO college, be a part of Coach Yo and Ole Miss, and now be able to make your own standard at Austin Peay?
Um, it's been see that it's crazy because it's like I'm sorry, that's such a good question.
You good? You good?
Can you give me that one more time?
Yeah. So you mentioned that tearing your ACL, of course, put you in a state that you're missing the game, you're missing what you're loving to do, but it also opened doors in terms of the JUCO and being at Ole Miss and now making your own stand at Austin Peay. But you also mentioned right after that God had really helped you, and being with God had helped you a lot. How did that, not only what was, how grateful are you for that, and also how optimistic have you been to learn from those opportunities?
I'm very grateful, honestly. Like like I said, without honestly me tearing my ACL and going JUCO, of course I would have had schools, but I feel like it opened doors to get me bigger schools like Ole Miss. And I've been very optimistic with my decisions now. Like at first I didn't want to go JUCO, and that was my only option. But like now I'm like, if I could tell people, hey, go JUCO first, like you're gonna get the opportunities because you will. I'm a prime example of that. And it just helped me a lot make my decisions now with going to Austin Peay. Like it made me look at things very different.
During that time and process, was there any specific person that you kind of leaned on, whether it be your parents, a good friend, a pastor, anything? And what were the main things they were telling you to keep you positive and keep you level-headed?
My mom and dad were like the main people that I talked to during that time. And my mom consistently said, stay with God and keep praying and pray on that decision because that's a huge another step that you're going into. So she told me to consistently pray and lean on him. And that's really what helped me through that whole process. And the same with my father. He told me the same thing. And really think about and take everything into consideration when making that decision.
Speaking of you being grateful, you had the opportunity to go to JUCO, and you attended Trinity Community College, and at that time was the number one JUCO school in the nation. With that being said, what were you looking forward to when you got there, and was there a lot of added pressure on your name now that you're officially into that market?
Um, I was super excited, honestly. Like after when I came on that visit, I did not want to take the visit,
Yeah.
but when I went to that visit, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is it. Like this is the school for me. Like I worked out so much preparing to go there. Like I was super excited. I was excited to meet my teammates, play with the coach that I had, Coach Ewing, Gerald Ewing. And it was awesome. It was just a great opportunity.
You've spoken so much, how adamant you were about not wanting to go to JUCO. Why was that? Why did you not want to go JUCO?
I'm gonna be honest. It was really because I heard a lot about why people go to JUCO, because you go to JUCO for one of three things. You either don't have the grades, your behavior, or really those are like the main two.
Yeah.
The grades or the behavior. And like I felt like in my, I don't know. I wouldn't say I felt like I was too good for it. It's just I didn't want to take that route because I didn't have either of those things.
I've said this for as long as I've been doing the show. Transitioning to college, no matter where you're at, is probably one of the hardest things to do. Uh, how adaptive were you when you got to school, and was it a tough change of transition for you? Because it's your first time being on your own for real in your life. So how adaptive were you when you got to school?
I adapted pretty well because when I was younger, I moved a lot. I
Yeah,
moved around a lot. So
so you were
me
prepared.
doing that, it was easier for me to adjust as I got older. So once I got on my own, yes, I had like I was homesick and stuff like that part you get, but it was easier for me to like make friends and like just adapt to that new situation because I've already done it so many times before in the past.
You made a name for yourself at JUCO. You averaged 14 points per game. What became the deciding factor for you to attend Ole Miss, and how hard did they come at you for you to come there?
The deciding factor was honestly the relationship that I had with the staff and Coach Yo specifically. Me and her had such a great relationship, and she saw me from somebody else that she was already recruiting or already signed. So when we talked, we built such a great relationship, and they really wanted me. They called me every week. They texted me on game days, everything. Like, it was consistent love and affection, and I felt that. And that's what made me ultimately decide to go there.
Once you realize this is the place, is it a different change? Because I'm sure JUCO is JUCO, but this is SEC basketball. What was your change of schedule like? And also, what were some of the things you noticed about how different the game was?
So with that, my coach at JUCO actually prepared us pretty well for like going into wherever we went next, because JUCO is college basically, but he did a really good job of preparing us for wherever we went next. So I felt like I was okay in that sense, but the pace was definitely faster. Like, it was different for me, because I felt like I almost played too fast when I got there.
Yeah.
Crazy. But yeah, like the game is much quicker. But I felt like my JUCO coach did a very good job at like preparing us for going into that level though.
Talk about your daily schedule, like at Ole Miss. Like, what time did you get up? Did you have shoot arounds or practice early in the morning? When were your classes? And did you have practice in the afternoon as well? Like, what was your daily schedule? Like, how did you fit everything in within a day-to-day basis for you?
Okay, so the schedule was it would change. So like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I would have um 10 Mondays, and Wednesdays and Fridays, I would have 11 a.m. study hall. And then after that, I would have class at like 1, or no, after that, I'll have class, but I had online classes, so I could go at my own pace. And then at about 12:31, we would have either weights or practice. It would depend on the day. Like, it would be either or.
Yeah.
And then we would practice for 3 hours if it was off season. And then after that, I would basically do homework for a couple hours, and then it was like chill for the rest of the day. So that was really like my schedule.
Talk about the sisterhood at Ole Miss. I was blessed to be able to go to a game this year, and I follow the girls very strongly. And you guys had a lot of talent, whether it was Shakira Austin, LaShonda Monk, Snuda. You guys had a lot of different weapons on your team. What was the relationship with your girls like, and how did they help you power through things that maybe you couldn't have done on your own as well?
The relationship was pretty good. Honestly, we had a good relationship on and off the court. Like, of course, you have your bumps in the roads, like like every team does, like your family. So you're gonna have them arguments, you're gonna have that. But overall, we had pretty great chemistry. Um, I feel like the things they helped me with was basically staying positive throughout the whole process. Like, because it was hard some days. So like they consistently, I feel like, lifted me up, and we all wanted to see each other win. And I feel like that's what helped a lot. And that's why we won so many games.
So much going on at Ole Miss now, and I just say that because a lot of you, whether they were seniors or people transferring or moving out of Ole Miss, why do you think that maybe is? You don't have to go too into detail because I don't want you to like say something. But what was the point where you said, "I think it's my time to go somewhere else and do something new for me"?
Um, I would definitely say more like the middle of the season. I was kind of like, okay, this might not be it so much, because I knew who she had coming in, and she's going to utilize them players. So I was like, okay, so this might have to be my time to go. Like that's literally what kind of pushed me towards to make my decision.
What was the intriguing factor about Brittany Young? I know you talked about her earlier and her making a name for herself in the first couple of years, but how heavily did she come out for you? And also, what were things that kind of different from her and Coach Yo to kind of brighten your head to say, this is the place that I want to be with, this is the coach that I want to be at?
Okay. Um, she's honest. She's honest. And that's really what like got me. She's very upfront. And I like that. It's odd. I really do like that. But she's a good person. Um, she really cares about her kids. And that's one thing that was important. Yeah. Like you have to care about your players outside of basketball. And that's what I really wanted. And her and Coach Yo, what's different between her and Coach Yo, honestly, it's weird. They're similar in a way, but not really. They're both intense and everything, and I like that. But I feel like I would say Coach Young, we connect a little bit more. I guess you could say. Yeah.
Is basketball like the end journey for you? Is this what you want to do forever? And even if it is, and if it's not, what would be like the next point for you? Like, do you want to coach? Do you something completely different? What would be the other fields for you?
Honestly, I've had the time to think about it. I would love to go overseas if I have the opportunity. But if that does not somehow work out, I want to be a sports psychologist and work with athletes more on the college side. But yeah.
That's dope. That's really dope. I'm not gonna take up too much of your time, but I've really enjoyed learning from you and getting to talk to you. Something that I do at the end of every single one of my episodes is ask my guests what's one piece of advice that you would give anyone listening, no matter what it's about, and also what is the legacy that you want to leave behind. What do you want people to know about Tiya Douglas that maybe they didn't get to know a lot about
you? Okay. What advice that I would give is probably stay true to yourself, no matter the situation. You're going to have a lot of ups and downs in life. But if you continue to remember who you are and your character, you're going to be fine in the end. And something that I want to be remembered in my legacy is that I am a reliable person and somebody that you could depend on and be that positive light to encourage you and want to see you win in anything you do. And yeah.
Write that down in the book one day. That's everyone remember what she said. She wants to see everyone to win. She wants to see the people around her win. That's very important. That's a good friend. That's a good daughter. That's a great person right there. I appreciate you. It means a lot, and it's very grateful for me to have more women on the show. I've had people come to me actually, and I just want this to be known. I reach out to a lot of women, and most of them either deny or don't say anything back. And so you guys keep asking me about that. It's not me. I promise you, I'm doing my best. I love to do a variety of different things, and I'm really trying. I put my effort into this, and we just so happen to be blessed with Tiya Douglas. So please be grateful for her. Her story is impeccable and incredible, and we appreciate you for talking with us and talking with me. It really does mean the world to me. But I just want that to be said. I'm working my best to do what I can for everyone. But it's all love. I'm not gonna name any names, never will. But it's not like that. I'm not reaching out or trying. I promise I'm trying, guys. So you guys, you can stop asking. Not trying to be mean, but you can stop asking. But you'd also continue to support, and I love you guys. T, I appreciate you. It really does mean a lot, and your word has been very impactful. And I hope someone not only myself but can take what you've said and learn from it. So I appreciate you for taking the time out your schedule to talk to me.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Do you have any social medias that you want to give out to the people that maybe they can follow you, or anything that maybe they have any more questions or just want to follow you on?
Yeah. So my Instagram is at Douglas Tiya, DouglasTiya. And my Twitter is also the same. So if you want to ask me anything on there, y'all can, or just keep up with me. And yeah.
Any shout outs you want to give to anybody, T?
Uh Shout out to God and shout out to my mama and
Mhm.
daddy. I appreciate you guys. And yeah.
Appreciate you, T. All love and all glory to God. We wish nothing but the best. I'm gonna keep tuning in with you. I'm excited to see what the future holds for you. So keep working hard. I appreciate you. Thank you guys for tuning in. All love. See you guys next time. God bless everyone.